Good afternoon, everyone. How is everybody doing today? Wonderful. It's starting to turn the leaves, and the leaves have fallen, and here we are. Fall is upon us. So, a very special state of the castle today. Not that not everyone is special, they all are. But this one in particular is special because we're going to award it and recognize the recipients of our scholarship funds that were generated by you, the resident treasure chest. So we're going to have Joe present on behalf of the resident council, and then we're going to turn it over to Mike. And we have a few of the staff members that received the awards, as well as one video of a staff member that received the award. And we want to take a moment to recognize and celebrate them and celebrate you for the incredible generosity that you've provided through the resident scholarship, or the resident treasure chest, which has now generated over $80,000 in scholarships since its inception 6 years ago. So again, it's incredible, the work of you all. So thank you. So with that, first, anybody's first time here in the state of the castle? We do have our new resident, Miss Joanne Williams. Welcome. Very excited to have you. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Joe Schmidt, your resident council president. Joe.
Hi. I have two pieces of business today. First of all, has to do with movie theater. Many of you are aware that in the past couple of months we've had some issues with the theater. Some of those have been technical issues, but we have also discovered that possibly a few of the issues may be because others than the movie committee are making use of the theater, which is terrific. We're happy about that. But we decided we needed to come up with a new protocol for everybody to follow when using the theater on your own, with your grandchildren or a group of friends, or however you're doing it. So to ensure the smooth functioning of the theater for all, reservations are required for private use and must be made by contacting the front desk. Only DVDs can be played, no streaming services if you're in there, if you're not on the movie committee. The system is not set up to show regular cable TV channels, so you can't go there in a couple of weeks and watch the election returns. But you can come to 1884 and watch the election returns. The theater is not available for private use on Wednesdays and Saturdays, because that's when the movie committee has it. And an ECP resident must be present at all times during any private showing. So we are going to try this policy. These are posted in the theater, and there are also instructions posted in the theater for how to load a DVD, how to get it playing, and so forth. And there's a beautiful collection, a library of DVDs up there in the credenza underneath the TV. Okay, my second piece of business has to do with the communication survey. Next to food, communication seems to be the topic of interest in this group. Food is number one, there's no question about that, but at different meetings and so forth, and those of us on the council, we get people approaching us all the time about communications problem, a communications concern, those sorts of things. So completing this survey is so important. We're already up to at least a third of the ones that we handed out being returned. We need as many returned as possible. This is your time. I know I sound like I'm a politician up here, but you're filling out the survey is your voice. If you have a concern about communications, this is the place to tell us about it. So please fill these out, put them in the basket in the mailroom. You'll see it designated. If you have inadvertently lost yours, run it in the circular file, whatever, and you'd like another copy, see me after this meeting and I have copies here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joe. And now to our special presentation that Mike's going to lead us for is our treasure chest recipient presentation. Mike, take it away.
Thank you, Tyler. I just have a few philanthropic updates for you before we get to it. Then I'm going to invite Jane Peterson up, the chairman of our treasure chest effort here at East Castle Place, a wonderful behind-the-scenes person. And if you want to learn any more about the treasure chest, seek out Jane. But the few updates I have before then, first of all, I really want to thank Bob Faraday for all the work he's doing on the Employee Appreciation Fund this year. He's behind the scenes writing letters, trying to encourage you. To date, we've raised $32,200, which is a wonderful amount of money. Last year we raised in total $75,000. So as you can see, we have a ways to go, but this is really a good spot to be thus far. We have 29 donors who have participated already. So we're making really good progress. We've got about 5 weeks to go in the campaign yet, and we're looking forward to that. I do want to point out something that came up to me yesterday. One of your neighbors was making a contribution to the Employee Appreciation Fund through a QCD. That's a qualified charitable distribution, which is part of your RMD, which is your required minimum drawdown from your IRA, which is your individual retirement account. I want to point out to you that under the, and I'm actually reading this now, under the QCD rule, you can give an amount from your IRA directly to charity without receiving it as income. That saves you the tax on it. That enables you to donate the full amount that you withdraw. In addition, you can start taking QCDs, a qualified charitable distribution, at age 70.5. You don't have to wait till age 73 when your traditional RMDs kick in. I found out that there's an exception to that. If your IRA was funded through an SEP, that's a simplified employee pension plan, I advise you to talk to your money managers about this. There may be a distinction between whether a qualified charitable distribution can go in its entirety to a charity of your choice if it came from an SEP versus an IRA. Come and see me. There's new information about that, and I highly encourage you to talk to your money managers about that. I will tell you, though, that I've already received contributions from your neighbors in the form of credit cards. I have gotten contributions from people's required minimum drawdowns already, and I have received contributions from people's donor-advised funds. Some of your neighbors have accounts at local foundations. They distribute funds annually, and they're choosing that. I also want to point out that one of your neighbors approached me today. All of 2024, they contributed to the Employee Appreciation Fund through monthly contributions. If you want to do that again next year, you have to sign a contract. One of your neighbors already came to me today and asked for the 2025 contract. So if you want to have monthly contributions added to your monthly fees, come and see me. That starts in January, but you have to have a contract in place to do that.
Do we need to come?
I'm sorry?
Do we need to come ASAP?
No. And in fact, I had people sign contracts as late as June and July of this year. You have all the time in the world. Come and see me about that. I want to point out, too, within the last month, one of your neighbors very generously donated our new Steinway piano, Mary Harrington. We are very, very grateful for that contribution. We hope to have some type of a program in the near future to celebrate this wonderful contribution. I think it was a Yamaha that was in here at one point in time, but this is going to be wonderful for your concerts, the Christmas and our people that we bring in here. I also want to point out that through a donation from one of your neighbors, we're upgrading the guest room that we have that you might want to rent out for family members on a nightly basis. That's being done within the next week. Again, we received a contribution that will fund that in its entirety, so thank you for that. And last but not least, I want to remind you with the holidays coming up, we will have Christmas in the castle soon. You'll learn a whole lot about that. But in conjunction with that, we have castle cookbooks and we have castle wine available. The Cabernet Sauvignon and the Chardonnay, all of that's in my office. If you don't want to wait till Christmas at the castle, come and see me. Now, I'm going to invite Jane Peterson to come up. As she's coming here, I want to tell you, the treasure chest has been functioning since 2018. It was conceptualized by your neighbors back at that time. All of the funds that are raised are from items that are donated by you and your neighbors. The staff, the residents buy those items in its entirety. All the funds go to scholarships. We've raised over $80,000 so far. About $73,000 or $74,000 has been awarded already. And I'm very pleased to say that Jane will be here to announce this year's winners. I want to point out, everybody who applied had to fill out, I want to say extensive, but it really isn't that extensive of an application. But there's a formal application, and then a group of your neighbors who are treasure chest volunteers review each of the applications and decide who gets how much. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jane.
Thanks, Mike. Some of our recipients for this year's scholarships are here in person, which is very nice. One is here via a video that you'll see a bit later, and the others are part-time employees who have other jobs, and their presence was not easy for them to do. So let's start out. The first recipient is Cole Berner. He's a junior at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, working on a bachelor's degree in classics. Majarka, is Cole one of your?
No, Cole's a CNA. He works with Lindsay.
Okay, Lindsay, okay. He expects to graduate in May 2025, and he already has a Wisconsin tutoring certificate. Tamira Cooper, who is in here. Tamira, come on up. She's going, oh no. And plus, I'm going to have you keep standing up here until we're all done. Okay, this is Tamira. She's working on a practical nursing degree from MATC. She's in the last year of her program. Good on you. Yeah. And expects to graduate in May 2025. She previously attended Hampton University and UW Oshkosh. Tamira is the first recipient of the Patricia Dunn Scholarship. So, Patricia, thank you. Our next recipient is Faith Fenendel, and she's attending UW Milwaukee, working on a Master's of Science degree in Communication Disorders in hopes of becoming a licensed speech and language pathologist. She expects to graduate in May 2025 and currently holds a
I'm a CNA.
And she currently holds a BS from UWM and an autism spectrum disorder certificate from UWM. And she's the person with the video.
And East Castle Place. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for providing me with this grant. It will be used to pay for my tuition for graduate school as I become a future speech-language pathologist. And I just really wanted to say that East Castle Place and all of you residents have been a key factor in shaping my decision to become an SLP. So the fact that I was able to receive this grant from you guys, who really shaped my decision to become an SLP, just means a lot, and just know that I'm very thankful.
That's very nice. Our next recipient, Clara Fouche, is working on a bachelor's degree in nutritional science. Did I mess your name up?
My last name, but it's okay.
Okay, well, tell us the right way.
It's Fouch.
Fouch. Clara Fouch. Come on up, Clara. She's working on a bachelor's degree in nutritional science from UWM. She's already earned 94 credits, and she expects to graduate in May 2025. So a number of these recipients are almost done, and your contributions helped push them into that last year of studying. Our next recipient, Arash Hossein Zeta, is attending UW-Madison and working on a bachelor's in the School of Engineering. He expects to graduate a little later, May 2027. And our next recipient, come on up, McKenna. McKenna is working on a registered nurse degree from MATC. She expects to graduate in May 2025. She already earned a degree as a licensed practical nurse in May of 2024. McKenna is the recipient of the Dr. Randall E. Pollard Memorial Scholarship for the second time. So that's another contribution. And our last recipient, Marcus Sandroni, is attending UWM and hopes to earn a degree in nursing and graduate by May 2027. So could we please have a round of applause for our worthy graduates? And I also
Pictures
have
now?
certificates to give you.
Pictures now?
Yeah.
There you go. Again, thank you. We're going to be doing pictures. I'm not sure.
Right now?
Right now?
Right now!
You want to do it in front of the screen?
Oh, why don't we do that? We'll do it. Great. Very good.
Every once in a while.
That's why you're the executive director.
Jane, why don't you get in there as well?
That's it.
Mike says that's it, so that's it for Mike. We don't give him the second opportunity.
Yes.
All right. Next on the docket is our friend Evan Riegler. Evan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just have one question.
Referencing.
I'll try to follow it up as best as I can. So my question is with the butterfly garden. Great idea, poor execution. It's an eyesore. So I guess on the eyesore part of it, it's more of a butterfly garden, so lots of milkweed. It's not as aesthetically pleasing, maybe. I guess I would like in the future for that garden to be like the cutting garden or the courtyard garden. So if a resident is interested in taking that over, absolutely would love that. Please see me or somebody in the garden committee, and we would love to assist with that. And that's all I got. Any questions for me? Jim?
Tell us about the Halloweeners this afternoon.
No.
How's that gonna happen?
Yes, this afternoon. So this afternoon, the Kids Impact Community is going to meet in here. From there, we're going to lead to each room who've signed up. So we'll start in Lake Terrace and go from there. So
All at once, so they're all coming at one time?
they're all coming at one time. They're all coming at one time. So if you have emailed me or we've talked, I have your name down. If you are interested, please see me after this and I can add your name. There's about 25 kids. So you need quite a bit of candy. And if you're lacking some, I have some extra. So yeah, hungry kiddos, right? Any other questions for me?
I have one.
Pat?
Did I see a communication where something may be done for military people?
Yes, so the morning of November 11th, we're going to have our Veterans Day breakfast. So thank you to all in here who have served, and please let me know your service. We would love to have you come. If you are not in the service, please come support those who did. This is something we did last year where we got a lot of Bradford Terrace residents involved as well. Awesome event, so please, if you served and you had not contacted me already, or maybe somebody you know of who didn't contact me, please let us know so we can honor those people, respectfully and rightfully on Veterans Day. Any other questions for me? Wonderful, Miss Lindsay.
Thank you, Evan. You want to leave the agenda? Sticky hands. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Great to see you all again. So for my State of the Castle update was just Health Center as well as a COVID update. And then I did have one question that did make the agenda that I can highlight on as well. The Health Center and COVID. Right now we have one staff member who's out with COVID at the moment. You know, it is still going around, as we all know. I assume and expect, as similar to past updates and probably future ones, that we'll continue to see kind of the singular cases and monitoring them accordingly. Obviously, we still are monitoring our internal protocol, which is more extensive for the time that they're off work than what the general population in the community is able to require. So our staff are minimum off anywhere from 5 to still 10 days, depending on symptoms. And that's just for us to take an abundance of caution in order to keep everyone safe. Just a simple plug on that. I know many of you, all of you hopefully got your flu shots and your updated vaccines. As RSV, you know, there's cases going around in elementary schools. I don't know if you've been around any children and so on. As well as just family general illness, as well as monitoring your allergies for seasonal allergies. So please, again, as always, let Teresa Jenkins know if you're not feeling well. You know, don't go to choir practice necessarily if you have a cough. Or, as always, exercise your precautions and wear a mask. So if you need one, we do have masks available too. And then I just wanted to provide an update on the Director of Nursing search. So as many of you know, or as I updated last State of the Castle, we are currently in search of a new Director of Nursing for Bradford Terrace for East Castle Place. I'm pleased to share that we are in the final stages and hopefully in the next week ready to extend an offer to a new Director of Nursing for East Castle Place. So more to come there. I will have that update come November State of the Castle of exactly who that candidate is that will be joining our clinical team. In the interim, because the question specifically was around who's overseeing the clinical operations. So our named interim director of nursing right now is Tracy Lapid. If any of you have ever, you know, had a stay in the health center, or perhaps she's responded to your apartment on occasion, Tracy is a registered nurse. She's been with East Castle Place about 5 years now, and then is a nurse manager and does our MDS nurse billing as well. So she has been assuming those additional responsibilities in the interim. Any questions for me? Yes?
Can you share how the search is going? How many applications have you received?
The question was, how is the search going for the Director of Nursing and how many applications have we received? Great question. We have received a lot of interest externally for this role as well as internally. And externally, probably I've been doing all the initial phone screens. I've probably done, for qualified applicants, I would say, based on what we're kind of looking for, job history and so on, 11 individuals. And we have 3 candidates that, you know, realistically, any of the 3 I think would do a great work and come with extensive background or quality background that would really meet your expectations, the team's expectation, and continue the great healthcare that we're able to provide here.
Thank you.
So there has been a lot of interest. Any other questions for me? All right, I'll pass it on to Majorca. You're welcome.
Hello, how's everybody this afternoon? So I first just wanted to give a quick update on the 1884 that we have been working on training some of the staff. So the 1884 will now be open daily starting at 3:30 for any residents who want to come down and have some cocktails before dinner hour. So from 3:30 till 5, you guys can come on down with your friends, have some cocktails, and then that person will be kind of stationed in there throughout dinner service, help the servers with their beverages, and also be that overflow server if we do have to seat anybody in there. So that will give everybody an opportunity to kind of come down and mingle ahead of time. One of the questions I had was regarding happy hour. When we opened the 1884 and started happy hour, we originally kind of just started with wine, beer, or custom cocktail. That is kind of what's included in that happy hour. If you guys would like to purchase something different during happy hour, that is totally okay. Evan and I have communicated that if you want to come down and have a Jack and Coke during happy hour, that's good. We will bill your account for that later. Then I just kind of wanted to give an update regarding Saturday nights. I have received a lot of feedback. I'm going to be honest. Some of it was very unpleasant. And this is a decision that I made for my team, that when we were finished with the Monday night buffets, we switched to Saturday night buffets so we could still serve the greater good of the community. Saturdays, we're a little bit short-staffed, both front and back of the house, regardless of what weekend. So instead of going to a limited reservations where we're only maybe serving 40 people, we decided to switch the buffet to Saturday. If anybody came to the buffet on Saturday, I think you guys saw that it was a very nice elevated buffet, and it gives you the ability to have a little bit more and not spend quite as many points. That this is the plan with the Saturday buffet for now, is to keep it elevated. Is the Saturday buffet going to stay forever? Absolutely not. It is just something that we have to do right now to be able to feed everybody. Otherwise, we're unfortunately going to get to the point of, if we can only serve 40 people because of where we're at with staff, who's going to be those first 40 people we serve? And we, on a nightly basis, are serving 100 people. So I know that if we didn't make it a buffet on the weekend, we wouldn't be meeting the needs of the residents. So this is the decision that we made so we can serve everybody. Yes?
My biggest concern, one of my concerns about that is we are not set up here to serve buffets where the food comes out hot. My food was all room temperature by the time I got to my place, and I really don't want room temperature steak. But, you know, if we're going to do a lot of buffets, it seems to me we need to think about getting something that keeps the food hot.
So the new Schaefer's do keep the food hot. I did work with Morgan a little bit on Saturday. There is a science to using the Schaefer's. Morgan had been lighting them a little bit sooner, thinking it would keep the water hotter, but then the water just kind of evaporates and doesn't work. So we shouldn't have had an issue too much with that on Saturday. We've also kind of talked with the staff about making sure to keep the Schaefer's closed, keep the food hot in there. My background before East Castle, I ran banquets. We did banquet buffets for 1,000 people, and so there's definitely ways we can do things to keep the food hot. Tim and I had some conversations about what can we do to help that. Maybe, putting a little bit of sauce in the pan, so that's helping it as well. So I will talk with them again, and we will work on that. Yes, Mr. Lashardy?
You used the word elevated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
So in the past, like on a Wednesday, we would have had like the pizza buffet or like build your own mac and cheese buffet. Things not quite as, things that we aren't used to having normally. So the elevated buffet will be kind of like there's your build your own salad with a lot more toppings. Having different desserts out there. Always having the tenderloin on the buffet plus another most likely seafood option. So if you want to have tenderloin and shrimp, you can. This coming Saturday, there's tenderloin and salmon. Just gives it a little bit more of that upscale feel. Any other questions? All right, and then I will pass it off to Tyler.
All right, thank you, Majarka. And appreciate the understanding. Again, like Majarka said, it's not a forever on Saturday evening buffets. I think this gives us also the opportunity to make sure we're onboarding and training staff appropriately, because sometimes what happens on Saturday evenings and Sundays is they start working short, they get stressed, and then they leave. And that doesn't help anybody for the long-term benefit of East Castle Place. So appreciate your understanding. Again, Majarka didn't completely do this solo. Again, she led it, but she has my full support, obviously, in the decisions that are made to ensure that we're making the best decisions in interest of you as residents for the long term. All right, so Anna Landis, I'm giving an update on her behalf as she will be back in the office on Monday. How many of you know about our Friends for Neighbors referral program? Show of hands. All right, well, if you don't, it's a great program where you provide us a name of a neighbor that you have previously. You provide their contact information. Marketing takes it from there. Again, it's not a hard sales pitch, but it's somebody that you want to be your neighbor. When they move in, you receive a discount off your monthly service fee for a month. I believe it's up to $2,000. And they receive a discount on their monthly service fee for $2,000. We also have a fun quarterly raffle prize that we're doing. And this quarter's raffle winner, and I did not see her in here, so you'll have to pass along to her, is Linda Gallis. So, Linda provided us a few names of neighbors and referrals. And so Linda not only is the receipt of that $2,000 benefit when one of her friends moved in, but it's also this beautiful basket that I clearly did not put together because I am not this talented. But the marketing team put this together as just a thank you. And again, just a nice little addition to remind you that there is a Friends for Neighbor program because we know that friends make the best neighbors. Speaking of friends, we have a Friendsgiving luncheon marketing event. So, this luncheon is going to take place on Thursday, November 14th. And it is open to you as residents as long as you bring a friend. So, that is a friend that is north of 60, we'll say, meaning age appropriate. Because this is a marketing event. And again, to qualify here at East Castle Place, you do have to be a certain age. So, again, this is a lunch for you and for your friends. And so the marketing team, if you have interest, please reach out to them. I believe there is an invitation. Jennifer is shaking her head. There was an invitation that should have been placed on everybody's ledges. Yes. Perfect. And so we'd love to see that at this time. It is kind of a first come, first serve. We don't necessarily have a cap on it, but obviously we can't host 200. That would be a lot. But we do have the main dining room, the Gilman, available. Also a note, we will not be serving lunch that day in the 1884, as this will be the primary lunch for our marketing folks as well as you. So just a note there, in order to make sure our servers and things of that nature, because we are going to showcase our incredible kitchen. So please, please, please. Jennifer is raising her hand. I missed something, Jennifer. What did I miss?
If there's anyone that did not receive this, I went around and put it on all of your ledges. If you need one, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you another one. And again, as Tyler had shared, this would be bringing a friend outside of East Castle Place and joining you. We're looking to obviously build our wait list. We're at 100% right now, which I think you all might be aware of. And it's just having you as an extension of our marketing team and our sales team helps us tremendously. So any questions, feel free to give me a call and I'm happy to answer those for you.
So just to summarize, Jennifer, sorry I didn't have you come up here and go through the mic, but if you need another invitation because you've already given it out and you want to have another one, reach out to Jennifer. She'll be happy to provide that to you. If you have further questions, let Jennifer know, let myself know to have answer any of those questions. And again, we would love to see your friends from the outside. Obviously, we know your friends all inside, so we'd love to see your outside friends as well in order to join you for lunch. So, and she also mentioned we hit another milestone. We are now 100% sold, so there is no independent living apartments available currently for sale. We have a few new neighbors that have joined us. Obviously, Miss Joanne Williams joined us most recently, and we have a few additional residents that will be joining us here momentarily. And lastly, it's just a big thank you to you all as well for opening up your home. And some of you in this room opened up your historic homes. Obviously, East Castle Place, this is your home, but you've opened up your apartment home to a number of individuals that were interested in learning more about East Castle Place and senior living. And I will tell you, I was able to be a part of this event. We had close to 45 individuals from the outside join us and do a tour of the historic homes. So we went through the second floor apartment homes, 3 of them, and then we popped down to the first floor to an apartment home, and then ended in Lindsay Hall. I can tell you, it generated so much good conversation. I was able to have a lot of good conversation with so many of the folks, and there's a lot of interest and really engaging questions. Many of the individuals, this is their first time in a senior living community. And to say that they were, overwhelmed with excitement or just surprised, I think would be a little bit of an understatement, because again, of how beautiful your homes are, and again, how beautiful this community is in and of itself. So again, thank you for that. For opening up your home to those that are interested, and excited to see where that takes us. That's it for the marketing update. Yes, Petra?
I just want to say on behalf of my friends that I invited and myself and my husband, we thank everybody who was involved in planning that wonderful anniversary party at the St. Kate's, is it? St. Kate's Hotel, and it took a lot of, I'm sure, a lot of effort there to get all the pieces to come together. But we appreciated it and look forward to next month.
All right, well, thank you. And so Pat just wanted to reference, and also I'll say it as well, the 140th Gala event that we had in September to celebrate the anniversary was very, very well done. And again, that's a special thanks to Mike Reaver, Anna Landis, Maureen Scribner, and Lindsay, who kind of chaired that committee, but obviously a lot of efforts that went in there. And very excited to see you all booted and suited as well. It was a great show. So thank you for that, and thank you, Pat. All right, next up is Eric Peterson, our Director of Facilities, who just celebrated 5 years here at East Castle Place. Eric.
Thank you. Okay, I'll start with the questions that were submitted. First one was here, we were told an acoustic engineer would be hired to evaluate the constant mechanical noise on the patio resolution. I'm going to assume, because sometimes it's not always clear, I'm assuming the noise being patio is specific to out in this courtyard. I believe the noise is coming, the source of the noise is the exhaust fan from the kitchen. We're working through some solutions on that. There isn't an obvious and great answer to it. A green fence will die just because it's pushing out heat during the middle of winter. A large fence, maybe an answer. So we're looking through some alternatives. There is not necessarily anything that's mechanically failed with that fan. It is doing what it was designed to do. It's just, it's a different angle for some people and what they're seeing. So it hasn't been lost on me. Tower and I have talked about it. We're just working on some solutions that are going to make the most sense to be able to kind of more or less hide the exhaust fan and possibly deflect some of the noise to a different area. Next question, why is the courtyard door at Lindsay Hall inoperative at 9 p.m.? That's the new auto door that's put just across the hall here. I can't get back in after that time, that is correct. So that door, we had to kind of finagle it to make it work with an auto opener, being that it's a French door. It almost needs a whole new door, but the auto opener works with a timer. So we'll dial back the timer some more. Probably not going to go past, I'll probably back it up to 10 or 10:30. If it's a concern or someone has an issue, just let me know and we can adjust it from there. But it's both electronically locked and then mechanically locked. Next question. Consider better parking spot markings. I have to get out and look at the lines on the floor. I believe this is in reference to the underground garage. I don't think it's so much contemporary. That part of the garage is a little easier to see. The Bradford Terrace garage that was designed, set up with lighting, it's a little darker. So we're about to do our underground garage cleaning here in the next month. So when those notices go out, we'll wash the floors, then we'll probably go ahead and repaint the lines at the very least to brighten them up. It does make a substantial difference just cleaning them half the time. You don't see all the dust that's down there until you wash it away. But I'll make certain that brightens them up. Whoever submitted the question, if you have concerns after that, just certainly send me an email or get my attention, and I'll come take a look at maybe your spot, because where the lights sit, maybe there's a spot that's a problem. After that, how and when can we use the fire pit? Well, it was used just a couple days ago. I saw a big group out there. You can use the fire pit whenever you like. How to use it? There's a group of residents that did some training a couple months back on how to utilize the fire pit. I'm happy to show whomever has questions. Otherwise, ask your neighbors, they might know. But I'm also available. I can send a maintenance tech to show you how to use it. But all it needs to be is uncovered, propane turned on, and then ignited. And then at the end of it, shut down and closed. Any other questions? The ones that were submitted this month.
I have another one.
Yes, Pat.
I don't know if anybody on my floor received this notice, but when I left to come here, and I'm on 1105, and this my neighbor's on 1107, did anybody receive anything on our floor? Left me a note, and it said, "Hi neighbor, I'm Mary from number 1107. I need your help. If you're having the same noise issues as I do, my new forever home is located directly over the air conditioning, heating equipment in the garage, forcing me to sleep in a single bed in my guest bedroom. And even there, I need earplugs. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend the 10/24 1 p.m. meeting. I hope you will and ask how they plan to address the problem. Thank you very much, Mary." So make sure
Pass along the message. Yes, so in that particular resident, she has a very different mechanical noise that has really only showed up in her one apartment. So we've been in constant communication with her as resolving how to quiet that noise down. So we've worked with the contractors that built the building to work at quieting it, making sure that the pump that's in the mechanic room is aligned properly, working through a number of other factors. The way the rods that hold the piping up are secured is there essentially kind of a deafening or a rubber holster on there that helps quiet the sound. There's basically pump noise and there's structural noise. And so we've been trying to establish that it's not at least fixing all the structural noise potential issues. And then we're working on realignment and things like that. If that doesn't resolve it for that resident, we've sought out some consultation from an acoustical engineer. But it's kind of option A and option B, and we're working through both concurrently. So that resident, I usually touch base with her about once a week just to kind of apprise her where we're at with things.
Well, I know how she feels.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Any other questions? Yes, Joy.
Has there been any consideration to having a door opener on the door that goes from the hallway into the swimming pool? Now that more of us use walkers, and I believe there's at least one person using a wheelchair, that would be a good aid.
No, that hasn't been considered at this time, but I know there's a lot of special interest, fundraising items that kind of contribute to those things. Much like, I guess, the example I would use is up on the rooftop garden. That was a similar issue. Folks that went out there wanted to offer a roll door. So there are pathways to achieve that, yes. But at this time, that really hasn't been considered. I mean, it's tough. Those auto doors, you could put them in a lot of places, to be frank. There's just a lot of times it's opportunistic, but it's just being able to fund them and maintain them, things like that. So if that's a concern, I bring it up to Todd and I can hear you loud and clear, so we'll look into it.
Bring it up where, please?
The mic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Oh, I see your hand. Yes, Ms. Meyer.
Is the fire pit, after you turn on the gas, is it automatic ignition, or do you need an implement or matches to light it?
The automatic lighter is not working. You have to use a fire stick.
Yes.
Didn't see a maintenance work order for that. No, if it is, it's just actually the igniter threads in, and there's a AA battery behind it. So I can take a look at that, but yeah, if that does occur, just let us know. We can swap that out. So probably much like the tank, when they're doing the watering out there, they check the tank for me to make sure it doesn't feel excessively low. But we're not gonna probably change it too soon. It'd be more like a quarter or quarter empty. They would probably swap it out for a new one. But if for some reason you're having an event, just let me know. We can swap them out. We keep spare tanks. Yes, Dave.
You should have another training event, because it's a little tricky working the valve on the fire pit itself. You
It
have
is,
to
yeah.
Turn it part way and push it in.
Mhm.
And to my knowledge, only 2 of us attended the first training.
About 30 minutes after that training, I had another tour come through, and we trained for, I think it was about 3 more residents. But I'd be happy to do another one. It doesn't take too long.
Once it started, give me
Yeah.
a call, and for a small fee, I will.
No, that's fine. If there's interest in another training, I'm sure we can set something up on a particular day, send a memo out, and I can visit with whoever wants to come out, take 5 or 10 minutes to train you. Again, if you forget, because from the time you might use it to when you were trained on it, just ask. We're happy to explain it or help set things up for you. Okay, next on the agenda is back to Tyler.
All right, thanks, Eric. And yes, love the use of the fire pit, love the pictures, so thank you. But I would just encourage you, if you're knowing that you're or even thinking about using the fire pit, just during the day, grab one of the maintenance techs or Eric and do a quick demo. It's probably easier than trying to set up a training and wait for people to come, and then they're not using it for the winter, and then we have to redo it. So it might just be easier the day or 2 before. Or Dave Woodard for, I think, what, $200? Is that the going fee right around there? So there's an annual plan, so he will work with you on payment options, it sounds like. So, all right. Questions for me? And then I just have a few other announcements. Can we get a printed list of TV channels from Spectrum? And then any news on Channel 31? Yes, we are making progress, I assure you, from Spectrum's word. I email Carlos daily now. Carlos is our guy to get me my contract for Channel 31. He got a note from me this morning again. I haven't heard back from him. He has not committed to a Spectrum list and channel guide. So we may have to manually do that, meaning I'm going to have somebody go through the channels one by one to update the printed channel list, which we can do. I was really holding out for Spectrum to be able to just send me something, but ultimately they're sending me every channel they have available, then they highlight where their package is, and it's very difficult to read and not very user-friendly. So we're going to go the manual route of watching the TV guide and then just kind of getting that. So our goal will be by the end of this month to have that, and we'll just put it inside your internal mailbox so you have a printed copy of the channels that Spectrum has. My hope is Channel 31, Bally's, we're going to put that on there and we're just going to pretend, and it's going to go into action, because that's the only way I think we can do this, is just will it into action. So I appreciate your patience. I do know the Bucks were on last night. We got the big win to start the season, but now it's going to be on Bally's. So we're going to get that come heck or high water. So question about when is our Wi-Fi going to be upgraded? It takes forever to connect, and then it's timed out. It's getting worse. So I know that we've been actively working on the Contemporary or North Point building. So I'm wondering if this is where this question is stemming from. And I also was made aware yesterday of some buffering that a resident had, also in the North Point area. So we did replace the switch that we thought would have been the solve for some of the Wi-Fi issues we were having. Well, it went a little bit deeper, as every IT issue seems to, than just a piece of equipment. Because now it goes into 2.4 gigahertz versus 5 gigahertz. And I don't want to go into a lesson on that because I'm not the one that can train on that. But essentially what we're doing is working with an outside vendor, DigiCorp, to mesh the two systems to make the signal stronger, to make it more sustainable. Joe and DigiCorp were in a resident apartment on Tuesday that opened up her home because she was having some issues to really troubleshoot. They feel they made some progress. There's another step. We're going to be adding a few extenders, and the extenders essentially strengthen that Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi signal which I think is part of the reason for the signal dropping, especially in some of the larger homes. So I know a few of you have been in direct communication with Joe, and I assure you we'll continue in that direct communication. If you are having issues with Wi-Fi, please let us know via a ticket so that Joe can address that. We are looking to, I don't want to say it, but Spectrum has an upgraded system for Wi-Fi. There's a couple things we're doing behind the scenes. Once I can get a few more answers from both Spectrum and our AT&T provider to strengthen that. So hopefully going to get you on a fiber connection as opposed to the current connection that you're on. And that should also help alleviate some of these Wi-Fi issues. So we do have other things in the works throughout the rest of the year that will continue to enhance, but we shouldn't have to wait for that, I guess is what the long and the short of it is. So I hope at the next State of the Castle we have valleys and we have better Wi-Fi. That is my goal for us. The humidity levels in Lake Terrace are extremely low. Last year we were promised investigation into the resolution. So I took this one because I know that we're approaching that time again. And I can assure you that Eric, as well as the contractors, looked into it, found solutions, potential solutions, and then realized that these solutions weren't solutions. So for the last, well, I would say, what would you say, Eric? Probably 6 months that they were investigating this between 3 different organizations. And ultimately, they don't feel the solution that they provided is going to make an impact. So, unfortunately for Lake Terrace, it's going to continue to be in-home humidification. That is going to be your best solution. The commercial type of humidifier that we had Butters Fetting, J.M. Brennan, and a general contractor, C.G. Schmidt, who works with obviously other HVAC contractors, come out, really were not able to provide a sustainable solution that they felt would make an impact, as well as be feasible for the Lake Terrace building. So, obviously, I think the first winter, it was an extremely what they call tight building, meaning that it was brand new. Obviously, we're a year removed from that, and I think it's probably loosened up a little bit, so I'm hoping that the humidity levels are better in Lake Terrace, but in-home humidification is the solution that we have. Yes?
In our apartment last year, unsuccessfully, we were using a humidifier. We cannot use tap water because that puts a white dust over everything. And for us, we're using 2 gallons of water a day without really getting much humidity because it goes right up through the vent. So we would be hauling in 14 gallons of expensive distilled water every week, which is not a viable solution. So I'm not sure what a solution would be, but last year our humidity, for the most part, was about 26%, which is 1 or 2 percentage points above the Sahara Desert.
So, all I can share with you is that we looked at solutions. We did not find one, which is not what I like standing in front of anyone saying the solution that we have is no solution at this point. Now, is that the end? Is there another contractor? Sure. And so we're partnering with somebody else to see if they can take a look and see if there is another, anything that can be added. But at this time, I don't want to give you false pretense and say that there is a solution because we don't have one right now. So, and again, that distilled water piece versus tap water, I understand that because of the film and things of that nature. Again, I don't disagree with you. Bringing in 14 gallons of water per week makes sense. But I at this time, I'm a little at a loss, which I also hate. So again, I think Eric and I will continue to look for the solution. If you have solutions, by all means, let us know. If you have a contact that you think may point us in a better direction, by all means, let me know. We can explore that. Yes?
Was the steam humidifier that we brought up for
I'll chat with Eric after this. I believe we presented that to Butters right away. And it was not a solution based on the makeup of the HVAC components we have in the building. Yes, Ms. Call.
What type of humidifier are you using? Just a little.
The question is what type of humidifier? Yes, I believe it's the room humidifiers.
Because we have one that's Airwick, and it puts out about 40% humidity.
Okay. So maybe that is a solution, that there's better humidifiers. The question or the response was the Culls have a humidifier in their unit that puts out about 40% humidity. So it's an Airwick, I think is what Mrs. Cull was saying. So again, how much water do you have to put in that?
They're not like.
Right, they're not Lake Terrace. I understand that. They're historic, but.
Put in 6 gallons. Well, the humidity now isn't so bad.
Right.
So every 3 days I put in 6 gallons.
Okay.
In the winter, I will be putting in 6 gallons every day or every other day.
Okay.
And it has a wick. It absorbs all that other stuff.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Flint.
Yes, I want to thank everybody who has come to me with positive response for the photos on the wall. It's been amazing, and I really love it. But obviously, I love doing it. But if you have any questions at all, come and see me about any of the pictures that are there. It's been a tremendous response, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Flint. So Mr. Flint just wanted to say thank you for the positive comments of the gallery that's up in the hallway that is his photograph. So thank you, Mr. Flint. Sandra.
Did I not hear at one point that one could put a humidifier on each furnace?
So that's in the North Point Terrace. That is not an option in Lake Terrace.
So they don't have individual.
Correct. So 3 different buildings, 3 different HVAC systems, 3 different eras. So working through that again, not the solution for our Lake Terrace residents that I wanted to present today, but again, that's unfortunately what I have. Update photo book with all IL residents. So I spoke with Joe yesterday as we touched base about some resident council items. And then I think we have a good solution going forward. So we have about 50-ish residents that are still needing photos updated for the photo directory. And so I chatted with Evan today and let Jennifer know right now that we'll be doing 3 days in November in the library on November 12th, November 13th, and November 14th, where we will have a staff member available to you to take your photo, help you upload it to the app bio if you like, as well as help you if you don't have a bio, take your bio. That way we'll have 3 days dedicated to you to help you update the photo directory. So if your photo's in there and you're happy, you can disregard. If you're like, what is a photo directory? Come see us on those 3 days and we will take your picture. If you're like, hey, I have a picture of myself that I want to submit in a bio that I want to submit, go ahead and do that whenever you want to Jennifer or myself, and we'll get it updated. After that, we're going to partner with the Welcome Committee on any residents that still don't have their photos updated. So we're really hoping that these 3 days that Evan has on the November calendar are successful in getting that calendar updated, or on that directory updated rather. So then by December 1st, we have a very updated and robust resident photo directory for everybody to tangibly have in their fingertips. Because from what I hear and what I understand is that's very, very valuable to you as you're meeting new friends or new neighbors and you remember that they lived up in Door County, or they remember they lived on up in Shorewood, or that they have a hobby or an interest. So jot those down. So again, December 1st is really that kind of deadline that I'm hoping to have the photo directory updated with the 50 residents or so that are new. Then, going forward, we have a plan to keep it a little bit more current and updated for everybody. So that is the update on the resident photo directory for independent living.
hours be for that?
So, good question, Evan. Do you have, so November 12th, it is on your calendar, but November 12th is a Tuesday. Tuesday, November 12th at 3. Wednesday, November 13th at 3. And then Thursday, November 14th at 10 a.m. And that is all 3 times are going to be in your main library, because you can find a nice background there, and it's also centrally located for everybody. And you probably are going to have questions about at the front desk that you can ask at the same time, right? So, again, in the library, if you would like to have your photo taken, we'll have it there. We'll be able to help you potentially upload it to the community app, and then if you need help with your bio, we can do that as well. And then lastly is an update really from Teresa. The Nurse Practitioner Clinic has a new date, and I apologize because that change was mentioned to me yesterday evening, so I didn't get the communication out today, that the Nurse Practitioner Clinic is happening from 9 a.m. to noon in the Carolyn Newald Clinic on Mondays going forward instead of Thursdays. So Dr. Pang was still supposed to be here, but that nurse practitioner is something that we started, I believe, a few weeks ago on Thursdays. She had to shift hours to Mondays from 9 a.m. to noon in the Carolyn Newald Clinic in Bradford Terrace. The nurse practitioner will be there. If you are a new patient, bring your insurance card, and she will take it from there. All right, I believe that is it. Are there any questions for myself? Yes?
And I forgot, I went to see the nurse practitioner, and there was somebody else ahead of me, and I could hear every word that was said in that room. And I think somehow you have some kind of a baffle on that door or something, for people want more privacy.
Okay, good to know. I will.
Couldn't hear that back here.
So the question was, I went to the nurse practitioner clinic, and I was sitting in what was the waiting room, and I could hear what the conversation was had in the clinic fairly clearly. So we need to work through some baffling of sorts, or a thicker door or something to help that. Any other questions? All right. If not, you'll note that the next State of the Castle is actually in about, November 21st. So it is the 3rd Thursday in November instead of the 4th. Does everybody know what the 4th Thursday is? Thanksgiving. And I hope you all are able to spend it with your family and friends. That's where I know a lot of our directors are going to be spending it. So we will not have a State of the Castle on Thanksgiving in November. But we do look forward to seeing you the week prior, November 21st. Same time, same place, and hopefully with some better answers and responses to the questions. All right? Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the fall day.